K.A. Bullet's footballing channel.
Hurry up, tell me why I'm here.
I'm back. It's been a while since I've posted on YouTube on this channel because I've been watching the World Cup. And now that the group stages are over, I'm going to react to them. But not every match, because not only at the time of this recording have all of the group games been played, but because I'm saving my reactions to every individual match for another video. Now, here's my reaction to every group. Here's Group A, where, at the time I recorded this video, not every team that finished third has been confirmed to advance to the round of 32 or been eliminated. Which is why South Korea is still shown in blue in this picture. But my reaction is, well, I knew that Mexico would get 9 points as hosts, but I did not expect South Africa to do this well. At first, before I built this channel, I thought they'd do well. But then they had a bad AFCON, and then the friendlies were horrible, so I thought they'd finish bottom of the group. But no, here they are in second. Good job, guys. And South Korea finished third, waiting to see if they advance to the next round. But if they do, they deserve it. And Czechia finished bottom of the group. They were very underwhelming. Sorry for the audio change, but I recorded this on very short notice. But after I filmed the Group A segment, I learned that South Korea has indeed been eliminated from the World Cup. Now for Group B, where I'm very happy with my predictions. They weren't 100% correct, but I did predict every team's position correctly. I do not understand how Qatar got a draw with Switzerland, but generally, I was right about this group. Pretty much the same deal for Group C. Brazil finishing first with Morocco in second. Yep, and then Scotland finishing third. Yeah, sounds about right, with their only points coming from beating Haiti. I was also correct that they would only lose 1-0 to Morocco. The only team I really got wrong in this group was Haiti. Haiti has played much better than I thought they would. They conceded far fewer goals than I thought, and they even scored twice against Morocco. A defensive team. I recorded this segment of the video before it was confirmed that Scotland had been eliminated. Somehow, I predicted that Scotland would be one of the worst third place teams in the video. Sort of by accident. But somehow, I was right. And now many businesses are upset because the Tartan Army will be going home. Now on to Group D, where I didn't think the US would lose a match, but I did expect them to finish top of the group. Turkey finished bottom of the group, although they did beat the US on the last match day. But, I mean, I saw it coming. In my prediction video, I had them finishing second, but I saw it coming. Lots of people were hyping up Turkey, so it was only natural that they lost to both Australia and Paraguay. So, due to the hype reason, Turkey's finish makes sense to me. Although I did not expect Australia to be better than Paraguay, but Australia played really well, so they deserve to finish second in this group. And Paraguay advanced because they got 4 points, and they played for that 0-0 draw in that final match day, so they also deserve to go through. Now on to Group E, where Germany are back in the knockout rounds of the FIFA World Cup. Cote d'Ivoire somehow finished second in this group, most likely because they beat Ecuador on the first match day. Now, Ecuador is one of the teams that I was the most wrong about in this World Cup. A goal difference of 0. Yeah, I guess that's cool, but their 1-0 was with Curacao. How do you draw a 0-0 with Curacao? Is your attack so bad that you can't score against Curacao? But then, they scored 2 against Germany. How? What? And also, Ener Valencia scored none of those goals. I do not understand this Ecuador team. Curacao finished bottom of the group as everyone expected, with 1 point because Ecuador could not score against Curacao. Also, Cote d'Ivoire are in the World Cup knockout rounds for the first time ever, which is good. I mean, this is a very doable group for them to do it in. And what shocked me the most about this group is that Ecuador conceded 2 goals in this group. When the final whistle blew for Ecuador 0, Curacao 0, I thought Ecuador were done. There would be no way that they would beat Germany. But then they did. And not only that, they scored 2 goals. I said they deserved to be eliminated. I was proven wrong. And here they are. They actually made it to the knockout rounds after all. Now on to Group F, where the Netherlands topped the group instead of Japan. I predicted Japan too in the video, but that Netherlands versus Japan match was a very 50-50 match. So this result does make sense. But Sweden won exactly 4 points, finishing third and going through to the round of 32, exactly as I had predicted. And Tunisia finished bottom of the group, also exactly as I predicted. Although I didn't expect them to be this bad. I also somehow predicted that Sweden and Japan would play out a 1-1 draw. Now on to Group G, where I knew that Belgium would not win all 9 points. Although I was wrong about their game with New Zealand. New Zealand finished bottom of the group. I was wrong about that, but a part of me just wanted their unbeaten streak to keep going. But they did lose 2 games in this group. And I knew that Egypt were going to get their very first World Cup win. Although I picked the wrong opponent. I picked it to be against Iran rather than New Zealand. Oh, and about Iran, they could still go to the knockouts as of the time I'm recording this video. Although they did draw all 3 of their group stage matches. This was seen as a group of life, but I knew that Belgium wouldn't pick up all 9 points. And also, after match day 2, Egypt were top of the group. Belgium probably thought that this was an easy group, but that was wrong. Although they did top it, they did it with only 5 points. And I was also right that the team that finished third would have 3 for 3 draws. I was just wrong about which team that was. I was right about this group, but I was wrong about who would finish where, mostly for Iran and New Zealand. Another case of me not having enough time before the knockouts to record this video. Iran has also been eliminated from the World Cup, despite having a goal difference of 0. But they are the best of the worst of the 4 third-place teams. Now on to Group H, where Spain topped the group, as expected. But Cabo Verde finished second in this group, with 3 for 3 draws. I knew somehow, in my predictions video, that Cabo Verde would escape this group. But I did not forecast how bad Uruguay would be. So, I'm only wrong about 2 teams in this group, with Uruguay and Cabo Verde swapping positions. But I was very wrong about how Cabo Verde and Uruguay would play. I thought that Uruguay would play better. But now, 2 points, you're out. I mean, Fernando Muslera's mistake in that game against Cabo Verde cost you a spot in the knockouts. But also, I didn't expect Cabo Verde to get 3 for 3 draws. I thought they were going to beat Saudi Arabia and make it to the knockouts. They did make it to the knockouts without beating Saudi Arabia. They didn't beat anybody in this group. But they also didn't lose any matches. And now Cabo Verde is the smallest country to ever make it to the knockout round of the FIFA World Cup. And Uruguay, sack Marcelo Bielsa and never play Fernando Muslera ever again. You guys should be doing better. I know your population's small, but you have a rich footballing history. And Saudi Arabia, I would think that all of the foreign players going to the Saudi Pro League would improve your national team. But turns out, barely anything has changed. Now on to Group I, the Group of Death. Although I did get all of the positions correct, I got the games relatively wrong. Iraq played better than I thought. I was correct about them scoring a goal, but they only lost to France 3-0, but that was because of a thunderstorm, and only lost to Norway 4-1. They also lost to Senegal 5-0, but Senegal really needed to pad up the goal difference after losing to both France and Norway. So, Senegal scored 5, and now they're going to be in the round of 32. So, I was right about this group's finishing positions, but just wrong about the points totals and the score lines for each of the matches. Now on to Group J, where I was right about all of the positions, but just wrong about how it would end up. Especially the final match, where I did not expect Jordan to score against world champions Argentina, and also, I thought the match between Austria and Algeria would be a disgrace. It was anything but. That match ended in a 3-3 draw. Initially, the match was headed for collusion, but Algeria tried to win the game, and Austria, in the end, got a draw. And that resulted in both teams going to the round of 32. So I'm pretty happy with how I predicted this group. Now into Group K, where the biggest surprise was Portugal not topping the group. I mean, when you have a draw with the Democratic Republic of the Congo, you're not exactly going to top the group. It was a must-win game for Portugal, but the win did not happen. So, Ronaldo versus Messi will not be happening in the quarterfinal, if it even does happen. Another thing I was also surprised by is, I did not expect Uzbekistan to concede this many goals. But they did. I mean, in that second match day, Portugal needed a lot of goals, so they got it. And I did not expect Colombia to top this group. But, seeing how the matches were played, they deserve it. I was a little wrong about this group, but considering that Portugal and Congo DR had a 1-1 draw, so my prediction was bound to be a little wrong. Now onto Group L, where I got all of the group positions right, but not all of the games necessarily right. England did top the group with Croatia finishing second and Ghana going through as one of the best third place teams. But I expected that first match between England and Croatia to be a 0-0 draw. I was proven wrong. And I thought that England would do fine against both Ghana and Panama. I mean, they did beat Panama, but I thought that England would win both of these games, and by a decent margin as well. And I did predict that Croatia and Ghana would play out a 1-1 draw in my predictions, but considering the context was different compared with my original prediction, Croatia was in a must-win game. So, Croatia's win did make sense, and as a result, they finished second in this group. So I got the group order right, but just the individual games wrong. And also, Panama did not concede as many goals as I thought they would. Now for the knockout bracket. Now I'm going to predict the knockout bracket since it has now been drawn. Now I'm on another screen, ready to do my 2026 FIFA World Cup knockout predictions. You can already see, for the round of 32, I already ticked 2 of the boxes, but that's because I had a failed recording earlier where I said that Canada would beat South Africa in both of their knockout round matches. Both of them first one ever, actually. And the match might have already happened by the time that I post this video. But I see Canada beating South Africa, and also Germany beating Paraguay. It will be an ugly watch, that one. Because Paraguay is going to defend, but I can still see Germany making it through here. Now for the Netherlands versus Morocco, that's going to be another very ugly match. I can still see Morocco winning here, just like in my original predictions. Although they would have faced Japan in my original predictions, but I still see Morocco winning. Same with Brazil. But Brazil v Japan, that will be the opposite of Netherlands v Morocco. It will be a very entertaining game. I can see Brazil going through as well. France versus Sweden will be a comprehensive French win to send Graham Potter back to Sweden. And I can see Cote d'Ivoire in their very first knockout match losing to Norway. Erling Haaland, Martin Odegaard, this Norway team are not going to go out in the round of 2. Mexico v Ecuador, it's going to be a Mexican win, but it'll be a very ugly 1-0, considering that this is Ecuador. England will beat Congo DR in their very first knockout match for England to advance to the round of 16. The US will beat Bosnia as hosts. Bosnia also playing their very first knockout match. And also on match 82, I can see Senegal beating Belgium. Belgium have not played very well this World Cup. I can see Senegal winning here. Portugal v Croatia. This will be a hard match for Portugal to win. But I see Portugal still winning here. Now Spain v Austria. Sasha Kalajdzic scores a last minute. Not sure if it was last minute, but a 96th minute equalizer for Austria staying in the tournament. And then they get rewarded with playing Spain in the first knockout round. Spain will win here. Switzerland v Algeria. I can see this match going to extra time, but I still see Switzerland winning. Now, Argentina versus Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde have made it to the knockout round. And their first match is against defending champions Argentina. I can still see Argentina winning here. And now here's Colombia versus Ghana. I can see Colombia winning here. Egypt, for the first time ever, have escaped the group stage. Not only that, they got their very first World Cup win. And they'll play Australia. Should be a doable opponent. No, I see Australia winning here. 16 predictions. I'm on yet another different website because I got bombarded with an ad. And here's my round of 16 predictions. Originally, I didn't even have Australia getting out of the group, but here they are, round of 16. But, well, I think that France, of course, is going to beat Germany. Canada's run ends here. They'll lose to Morocco. Now, Brazil versus Norway. Norway have actually never lost to Brazil. I mentioned this in the other predictions video, but I can see Brazil getting their very first win against Norway here. And I still see Mexico progressing to the quarterfinals, beating England on home soil. Now, Portugal versus Spain. This is going to be a hard match for either team. But I can see Spain winning here. The USA will beat Senegal, and Argentina will beat Australia once again in the round of 16. Just like in the last World Cup. And I think that Colombia will beat Switzerland to go on to quarterfinals. So, even with the different teams in the group stage progressing to the round of 32, 7 out of my 8 quarterfinal picks are still the same. So there's not much to see here. I still think that France will beat Morocco, Spain will beat the US, Brazil will beat Mexico, and okay, this match will be different though. Originally, I thought this was going to be the Ronaldo versus Messi match. But since Portugal finished second in the group, instead it's going to be Colombia. I still think that Argentina have enough to win here. Now into the semis, where I still think France will beat Spain. I do think Brazil will also beat Argentina. Third place match. The other app I used, the website, did not have a third place match. So, here's a third place match predictor. I see Spain winning this one. So France are still my favorites to win the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So even with the different stage outcomes, as compared with my original predictions, the latter rounds of the World Cup I don't see being all too different. Although, only time will tell what the actual results will be. So that's my second prediction for the knockout rounds, after the group stage has already concluded. I apologize that the audio was quite bad when I was recording that segment, but as the knockouts were literally just about to start at the time I recorded this video, I didn't really have time to sort out my audio issues. And also, by the time the video uploads, one of the matches might already be done! And these are my predictions, that I of course made with my head and not my heart. Now I'm going to go back to watching the World Cup. Press the like button down below if you like this video, and subscribe to this channel if you want to watch more videos like this one. I know that this video is almost 20 minutes long, but I just wanted to make a video with my reactions to every group stage result. The finishing positions, not the matches, that will be for another video, and my predictions for the knockout rounds. If you could even hear them, but you could probably still see them. But as I'm watching the World Cup, I'm not sure when the next video will be out, but it will come out soon enough. Unfortunately, the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine is still going on, over 4 years after it started. This is the reason why Russia's national football team has been banned from participating at this year's World Cup. The Ukrainian people just want to live in peace and have freedom, but this common dream was ruined by the tyrant and bully, Vladimir Putin. I here on the KA Bullets footballing channel stand with Ukraine in their struggle against Vladimir Putin's tyranny, and recognize Ukraine's true borders as shown by this map, which includes Crimea, the Donbass, and all of the Zaporizhia, Kherson, and Kharkiv oblasts.
Слава Україні! Героям слава! Нехай швидше дарується Україні перемога! Glory to Ukraine! Glory to the heroes! May Ukraine be granted victory very soon.
Even more unfortunately, that is not the only international conflict going on. This one briefly came to an end, but has since restarted, and the authoritarian regime is still in power, trying to keep their people down. That's why I support